mean, you just talked about the rules there, and one of the things that I really loved in your book was you spoke about if one person breaks a rule, then you've got like a people problem, but if multiple people break the rule, then you've got a rule problem, right? And we see this a lot with vehicles and speeding, etc., etc. I just wonder what thoughts you've got in that, in terms of people breaking rules, because just like what you spoke about there, we tend to lose our mind when one person sort of deviates, right? But if multiple people are like, "Oh my God, how do we fix them all?"
Right. So the basic philosophy that I have, and this is taken from sort of traffic logic, which says that very often we look at it and we go, okay, it's like they are bad people that need to be sorted out. And so what I say is, and I'll tweak what you said slightly, what I say is, if one or two people break a rule, it's probably a people problem. In other words, if everybody else manages to follow the rules, but one or two people can't, then unless there might be a really good reason why they're not doing it, they're in a very unique set of circumstances that we haven't contemplated. I don't know, something's unusual about it. But generally speaking, if everybody else manages to do it and they don't, we can point the finger at those people. But if we flip it round, and if we have lots and lots of people who aren't following a particular rule, then it's unlikely that they're all sitting there going, how can I break this particular rule and not follow this particular protocol? There'll be something in the rule or the protocol that is driving that particular behavior. Maybe it was the training was terrible, the rules preventing something legitimate from happening, people are very busy, they've got distractions, following the rule is a real pain in the butt, whereas actually not following the rule is much easier. So we can take the fact that lots of people are not doing it as a good clue that there is something there that means the average person thinks it's okay or sensible or logical to break the rule. And I came to that conclusion because I thought about traffic as a scenario, and I'm fascinated by how do we get people, because we get into cars, and I love riding motorbikes, so potentially more dangerous, and so how do we manage that risk, because these things are killing machines in the wrong hands. And so what I started to look at was, if we think about road junctions, if we've got a spot of road where there's a lot of accidents, a particular junction where there's tons of accidents, yes, of course, we hold the drivers responsible for that, causing the huge amount of accidents. Maybe there's a blind spot, something's not obvious, there's lots of signs, it's confusing. And so we change the junction to cut down the number of accidents. And so often organizations conclude that they've designed something perfect, right? We've designed the perfect system and these idiots don't follow the rules. And what I say is, use the fact that lots of people are breaking your rules or not doing what you want as a little bit of an indicator that maybe you've got it wrong. And so we can then say, let's have a look at that. And of course, I'm not saying we let people off necessarily, but we recognize that we're contributing to that thing. So road safety is a really helpful analogy for us to think about other things. And I love some of the ways that that we redesign roads to get the outcomes we're looking for, as opposed to just hammering the human beings who are responsible for the accidents.
I mean,